What is my girlfriend's name? We'd been dating for 8 months and I still didn't know. I was too drunk when we met to care and just saved her number as Red Dress Girl. Now it was way too late to ask. The first few weeks I kept waiting for her to say it, but she never did. I tried the Starbucks trick. She gave them Jessica. The next day, Amanda, then Sophie. When I asked about it, she said she didn't like strangers yelling her real name, so she always gave fake ones. I looked for mail at her apartment. Everything said current resident. Her electric bill was paperless. Packages just had her apartment number. Her friends all called her Babe and Honey, like everyone was in on some conspiracy. When I asked one friend her actual name, she laughed and said, "You're so funny," and changed the subject. Her driver's license? Didn't have one. Grew up in New York where nobody drives. At bars, she'd show bouncers something on her phone that they'd accept, but when I asked to see it, the battery would conveniently die. I suggested a tropical trip so she'd need a passport. She got excited, then said it had expired, and renewals were backed up for months. Her birth certificate was at her parents' house in another state, and they were traveling in Europe. After almost a year together, I got a wedding invitation. I had to fill out the RSVP card with both our names. She handed it to me and I froze, staring at the blank line. My heart was pounding. She watched me with this weird little smile and said, "I want you to do it." I just wrote "and guessed" and slid it across. The temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. She stared at what I'd written, then walked to the bedroom and closed the door. That night, I texted my friend Ronan about the whole situation. He thought I was joking until I kept insisting it was real. Days passed. More wedding pressure from my friend Evie. More dead ends. I searched her apartment while she showered. Nothing. Even her Netflix profile just said me. I finally saw a therapist. Miranda asked why I thought this was happening. I said maybe she was just really private. She suggested maybe there was a way to be honest without being accusatory. That evening, I told my girlfriend that not knowing her name made me feel like I wasn't really part of her life. She squeezed my hand and said, "There are things about my past that make this complicated." Thursday night, she fell asleep on the couch. Her phone was right there. I knew her passcode. I picked it up to check her mobile wallet for an ID. My finger was on the home button when she woke up. The look on her face wasn't anger. It was betrayal. "Were you trying to go through my phone?" Her voice was so quiet it was worse than yelling. I packed a bag and stayed at Ronan's for 3 days. On the third day, I went back and apologized without making any demands. She finally told me, "I legally changed my name 2 years ago. Something traumatic had happened with her family, and changing her name was part of starting over." She showed me an old news article about a court case with all the names blurred out. It mentioned harassment and threats against family members. Her dad had been arrested when she was 17. Reporters showed up at their house. People sent threats. Someone spray-painted horrible things on their garage. Her little brother got beat up at school. They had to move 3 times in 2 years. She legally changed her name when she turned 18 and moved across the country. Her mom and brother did the same thing. Now they all had different last names and lived in different states. This wasn't about me or us or trust. It was about her survival. That night in her apartment, all the lights off except one candle, she leaned close to my ear and whispered it. 3 syllables that sounded foreign and beautiful. She made me promise never to say it out loud in public or write it down anywhere. We worked out a system. I could use her real name when we were completely alone in one of our apartments with doors locked and curtains closed. Everywhere else, pet names only. The trust between us had grown into something solid that didn't need every detail spelled out to work.